I've got to
and then his fixtures turn. But it's just I don't really feel confident playing Myhill through that run. So I'm going to look to actually swap McCarthy out and probably get Gomez because Watford have got a decent run as well. I just wouldn't want to miss that. I mean, yeah, I mean, I may miss one or two clean sheets from Myhill. Maybe it's unlikely. But I think I just need that, that security of having a second.
I think you'd hold Mayo if you got him, but you wouldn't get him in. Yeah. I mean, he's dropped right in the watch list because you were buying a keeper now. You wouldn't look at him at the moment. You wouldn't look at Butland either. Although if you got them, you kind of hold them.
But six clean sheets out of 10, it's amazing.
Yeah. We've got FPL Henry here. He started Darmian over Kolarov. So he lost those 5 points there because, of course, Darmian came on when Valencia...
I'm not sure why you do that. I mean, Kolarov looked at more, if anything, looked a more certain start than Darmian. I don't know what's going on with Darmian over there. You got him, haven't you, Granville?
Yeah, I've got him as well. I benched him, though, this week. I had Bonnie up against him, so...
I was actually quite happy with his point when he came on because my other player was Richards, and he would have come on for nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. He doesn't seem nailed on anymore. He will be now because Valencia probably picked up an injury.
What, a foot injury? Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe he is again, but it is a bit concerning that you've got someone.
I think we'll possibly come to this with Manchester United, but it's clear that Darmian is not the Manchester United defender of choice. But yeah, we've got another roughhead. Final one here is Cruiser Van Nistelrooy. He's got 3. This is a kind of hat trick of clean sheets on his bench. Gomez, Evans, and Huth. That's 19 points, and he played Artur Boric, who had a shocker. Richards and Basson, who's got 3 points. So I mean, I've never had that before. That's pretty unprecedented. Getting
that's how it happens a lot. Fortunately, my defence has done all right the last few weeks, and because I have actually picked the right ones. But that's the benefit of having Richards and Ward, who you're never going to.
I've still got Ward as well, clinging on,
and he's coming back as well. So hopefully it was worth the wait.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Defences at the moment it's tough. We're going to talk about it later on. You kind of need to just do a lot of shopping, but the trouble is what's happening is there's a template forming in midfield and attack again now. All the differentials are at the back, but so many people like myself have got fires to put out elsewhere. You can't always go shopping at the back. You can't make it your priority, but lots of options. We're going to touch on that now with the community questions, but let's talk strikers first, John. I mean.
Yeah, so we've got a few people asking. Jazzy Ed has asked Bonnie versus Kane versus Lukaku, and Siva Mohan also asked Lukaku or Bonnie. So they're looking there. So I've had a look at some stats here. So going back to something we discussed a while back about stats, that it looks like shots on target and big chances are the best indicators. So the ones that have done well from that are likely to carry on doing that. So Harry Kane is now top. So after Vardy being top, Harry Kane is now absolutely top. 12 shots on target over the last 4 game weeks, 5 big chances. Vardy's second. Wijnaldum third after his great game. So he's only 1 game there really that he did well. Glenn Murray's still there, clinging on, and then you start getting some of the Aguero leftovers from his big haul, and then you start getting the midfielders: De Bruyne, Mane, Walcott, Rooney's creeping in there, and quite near the bottom we got Bonnie. He's actually doing pretty well considering he's played 2 games. So he's basically averaging. He would be, if he was playing that over 4 games, he'd be up 3rd or 4th in this.
I mean, looking at minutes per chance over the season, Bonnie 25.8, Kane 24.2.
Yeah, so he's up there with that. So he's taking these chances. I mean, those 2 games that includes the Man U game where they just didn't attack. There was I don't think there was any goal attempts by Man City. And then just below him is Lukaku, and this is a slight worry, I think, for Lukaku fans. That he's so low down there, but he has been playing those fixtures. I know they haven't been good fixtures, so that might be. So it's whether your glass is half full or half empty on Lukaku there. But 5 shots on target in the last 4 game weeks. So that's a shot on target, a shot and a bit on target a game. That's not great.
How many shots has he had?
But he's had quite a few though. So he's had 12 goal attempts. So that's not accuracy there.
Yeah, I'm looking at conversion rates. So this is shot accuracy, and it's interesting that Vardy, Kane, Bonnie almost identical: 43.9, 43.2 Kane, and Bonnie 43.8. So those guys are getting a good percentage of their shots on target. Then you look at Lukaku, 37.9 over the season, the shot conversion. Pella, you were talking about Pella being a donkey as such. 26.8. He doesn't get many of his shots on target compared to the likes of Vardy, Kane, and Bonnie. I mean we see it. He's over the season. He's had 41 goal attempts, which is equal top with Vardy for the striker.
Yeah, Pella is in my. I mean, we'll come to it. We've got some questions about midfielders, which I'll come to in my goals imminent table. But Pella rides high in that. 12 shots inside the box last 4 game weeks. That's pretty good. Yeah. Only in that list, only Sacco can top that, but he's only 2 shots on target. It's pathetic.
There's another player that we should bring into this as well. Is it Giroud? I mean, I don't know what he's running at the minute, but he looks like he might be again the striker choice, and he reminds me very much of Pella.
Yeah.
He has his hot streaks, and then he has streaks where he just can't do anything right.
Well, Walcott picked up an injury, didn't he, tonight? So we've got to see, what the prognosis is on that. If Walcott's out, then suddenly Giroud comes into the equation, doesn't he? He's not a name that's been mentioned this week.
He's right up there in this table I've got of like shots on target as well. So I mean, considering he's had 1 start, so this is coming off the bench. Yeah. And he's had 6 shots on target. And 11 shots inside the box, and these are good stats considering his minute minutes that he's been playing. So
minute minutes, right?
So okay, let's commit ourselves then. Bonnie, if you had to go Bonnie, Kane, Lukaku, money no object, if you could have any one of those 3 now, who would you go with?
Well, it depends who else you got.
See, I've got Bonnie, so I've already done this. I've actually put my money where the mouth.
You put Bonnie in, have you, in your transfer this week?
No, last week. I got him in for the Man U game.
For Gomez.
I got him in for Gomez. Yeah.
Actually, that was an interesting move. You would not wait. You didn't want to wait a week.
Shall I tell you why I did that? Because Gomez was about to go down. I had exactly enough money if I got Bonnie in before Gomez went down to get Bonnie in for Gomez and upgrade Houlihan to De Bruyne, which is one hell of an upgrade. And because Houlihan went down on the Sunday, I've made that move on the Sunday. So I've got exactly that. None in the bank. De Bruyne, Bonnie in, all ready for Norwich.
So you've already done your transfer?
Yeah, I've already done it. Yeah, I didn't.
Before the midweek games.
I'll come to this. I don't want to will an injury on any player. I've now got a benching headache. So
well, this is going to happen.
I'm not so worried about the injury.
Yeah. So Granville, what about yourself? Out of those 3?
I think I would get Bonnie because I don't have any City players at the minute. I probably need 1 for the home game against Norwich, so that would be my choice. But I don't know. It just depends. What's the choice again? Lukaku.
Bonnie, Kane, Lukaku is the names that are putting out there. Yeah, I mean, I think Kane 4 home games in 6. That's the thing with him. You just don't know how much stock to put in the hat trick of Bournemouth because it is Bournemouth, and 10 goals in the last 2. I don't know. I mean, you'd like to think that Kane's back on against Villa. You'd back in for goals, wouldn't you? But it's just so difficult to say. It's a major problem.
He's more expensive, isn't he? Isn't he 9? How much is Kane? 9.3 was he? What's the price of Kane?
Yeah, he's 9. I think he's 9.6, isn't he?
He's 9.6. He's come down from his original price. Yeah.
Yeah, John, there's nothing we can do about the YouTube situation. I believe there's some problems with YouTube, which we'll have to edit this out of the podcast version. We can't restart it, so I believe there's some problems connecting, but we'll have to soldier on because this will provide the audio version of it. So apologies for those who are trying to watch this on YouTube and struggling. We're going to soldier on. So I mean the difference in price. I mean Lukaku. The problem is with Lukaku. Everyone's going to want to get on back of him off these Everton fixtures, which we'll talk about in a moment. They've got this unbelievable run right up to game week 19, where they don't play any of last season's top 8. So their toughest fixture, arguably, is home to Palace or home to Leicester, and that's it, right the way up to game week 19, right to the end of the year. So you've got to think that Lukaku with fixtures looks the best option, but he like we've said so often, he just never delivers, does he? And so we're always suspicious of him. But I probably will go Lukaku and try and bank on the fact that Everton will make the most of this run. But Kane is tempting. I can afford him because I plan to get rid of Hazard this week, and I could afford Kane. But
the way I look at Lukaku is very similar to Pella in for different reasons. They never quite score when you want them to. For Pella, it's accuracy. Always has been. He always needs a lot of attempts. Lukaku is actually quite a bit more accurate usually, but he's just for other reasons. Sometimes Everton have got very good midfielders usually. Perhaps Morales will score. Perhaps Barkley will score. They've just got those other options, I think. So, I mean, if I was to make a transfer now, I'd probably go for Kane. Yes, I think we know that Kane did it last season. We know he's back now. He's got that confidence. We've got strikers one. And he's up against Villa next, so that looks like a banker, I think. I've got Bonnie though, because Bonnie's quite good in that when Aguero's back, you don't have to think, ooh, which striker will I sacrifice? Because it's fairly obvious, because Bonnie won't play then when Aguero's back. So you've got to find the money elsewhere.
Yeah, but then you've got to immediately. We said before, the only problem there with Bonnie is you've got to immediately make that trade, because as soon as you think we've got.
I don't think you need to immediately though, because Aguero, when he comes back from injury, doesn't actually have a very good record of. And usually, when he comes back from injury, he's usually subbed on or subbed off quick. So I think the first game back of Aguero is never usually a big game, and it takes him. He's coming back from quite a long injury, so it's going to take him a little while.
Yeah, but I mean, Eden Hazard raises this point about we've got to have an Aguero plan, right? So can you guys discuss what to do? My point with Bonnie is, okay, so I personally think that there's a chance that Aguero can come back after the break, game week 13 at home to Liverpool. I know, Granville, you disagree with that.
No,
okay.
I do disagree.
Okay, well, let's say it's a week after. Let's say it's Southampton, right? But if you're in Jonty's situation and you're holding Bonnie, and you hear that there's a chance of Aguero coming back for game week 13, what do? Do you hold Bonnie and just gamble that Aguero's not going to come back?
I just think for that first game back, if Pellegrini comes out with this is it, Aguero's going to be playing, he's firing. Well,
he's never going to do that, is he?
Great. No, he's never going to do that because Aguero never does that. He doesn't come back from that first game. I will have that first game. But also, I know that Bonnie will probably play about 30 minutes of that. And also, I've got De Bruyne. Yeah. So I've got De Bruyne covering the assists for all the Aguero goals that may or may not come.
No, I don't think Aguero's going to hit the ground running. I don't think you have to worry about making the trade to immediately. It's the fact that you won't know when to get rid of Bonnie. That's the problem.
Well, after Aguero's had his first game back, first run out, then I'll get him in. And then I'll get Bonnie out.
Well, what Mark is saying is that you're going to have 1 week where he's either where there's a doubt whether he's going to start, and if he does start,
I remember last year
he'll only play half a game, and that is a difficulty, I suppose. Plus, also, I don't think he hasn't really looked. No, he's had these lots of shots. He hasn't really looked that impressive at all in his City career. I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced.
I think with Bonnie, he has to have certain types of opposition, certain types of game. He doesn't seem to be able to run. He's got pace, but he doesn't. His game isn't about running off the back of defenders. It's back to goal when the team are defending deep. It's home matches at the Etihad where he's going to get his goals. I think away from home, he doesn't have that same ability to mix it up and with pace and run beyond defences like Aguero can. Whereas at home at the Etihad, everyone defends deep against City, and that's where Bonnie is effective. So I don't know. I think I think Norwich is going to do very well. Norwich defence at the moment dreadful, and they're shuffling it around. I think Bonnie's a good buy at the moment. Yeah. I just think it's after the break you're going to be worried about it. So that's why I would steer clear of Bonnie if you haven't got him at the moment. I would go Kane if you got the money. I think I
would urge everyone to steer clear of Bonnie so that I can have my Kane moment.
you will have a couple of weeks out of Bonnie, that's for sure. I think.
Yeah, that's why I got him in. I've got him in for just a short term with strikers as well. They are quite the most short term of the positions really, because they are so based around that confidence and teams sussing them out. Whilst I'd love it if Vardy carried on like this for the whole season. I know he's not going to score 40 goals this season. It's just not going to happen. But I'd like it if he did. I think once out of the 7 or 8 years I've been playing, have I ever had a striker for the whole season that has been, that's that consistency, and that was Darren Bent when he was at Sunderland.
So back to Eden Hazard's comment about the Aguero plan. Granville, you think he's going to come back later, maybe 14 or 15, So what, are you planning on trying to free up the funds, or are you just going to wait and see?
No, I'll wait and see. You're talking about him missing only 2 more games. I'm not sure I can see. You're saying that he's going to come back against Liverpool. There's only 2 games between them.
Yeah, but there's a big break.
I think he's going to come back at home to Southampton on the 28th.
Yeah.
It's a reasonably good fixture, but when you look at the other fixtures, Spurs at home to Chelsea, Liverpool there. That might be the one where you might have to get him in straight away.
The thing is, he was pictured on exercise bikes, grinning and taking selfies this week. So.
Oh, with Mr. Cameron.
Yeah, I mean, no. He was. There was a shot in the physio room, him and Silva on exercise bikes. I personally think he could make it.
I mean, if anything's going to make your work ethic go up, it's the sight of the Chinese president coming into your training ground. That's certainly going to pep you up a little bit.
Not David Cameron. Let's not get onto politics. Not a ramble about. Okay, so Aguero playing. I mean, personally, I'm toying with the idea of not going back to him for a good while. Maybe not at all. Because I just think at the moment, and we'll get on to it in a minute, the midfield has such value. You almost want to play 5 in midfield. And I don't know if you can do that with Aguero. And, I don't know if I can work Aguero back in and have the midfield.
And still have De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Aguero, De Bruyne and Sanchez.
You're also hanging on to Hazard as well, aren't you?
Well, I won't be after this week. More on that in a moment. Let's talk about midfield. So midfield template. Rod Delega Bomblido. He's extended his name there, John T.
Yeah.
He's talking about this 5-man midfield, the template that's forming. He's got a point there. Sergeant Garcia raises it as well. We're saying KDB, Payet, Mahrez, Sanchez, and then Mane or Ayew is the template. And it's hard to argue against that, isn't it? There's a template there.
Oh, yeah, there is. I mean, I've got Sanchez, De Bruyne, Payet, Mahrez, not one of the other 2, but I've got Mata as my rather dodgy 5th midfielder, and there is that template now. But templates change. People tend to think, there's that template. Oh, isn't the template horrible? But it just changes all the time. Mahrez. See, a lot of people have got Vardy now, and then when Leicester's fixtures turn, incidentally, they're up against West Brom this weekend. So going into that with Mahrez and Vardy against West Brom,
I have to say I've been looking because I could see me selling Mahrez eventually.
Yeah, I think people will. I can see.
I'm even looking at it this week and just thinking, do I actually need 2 Leicester players? The fixtures are decent still, but eventually they do turn. They do turn in. When's the difficult playing?
Well, it turns from 14 onwards.
3 more weeks of fixtures.
But I think what they're getting at really is, is this a kind of a 5 midfielder? I mean, there's lots of teams now with your kind of Westwoods in it. Your 4.5, your 5 minute. I mean, I've had Houlihan for a while. I've just got rid because I see there is so much choice in midfield. I want them all, and I want as much of them as I can get. So yeah, I think at the moment, whilst Sanchez is doing well, whilst Arsenal also have Özil as well as a good option, and then you've also got all of these other players like Payet, Mahrez, Mane, all and Ayew even still at it, and then you've got the Man City lot. So this weekend, if Bonnie would probably be up front, and then if Sterling's right behind him, wow, well then suddenly Sterling's back in the mix. Cause that'll tear Norwich apart.
It's a question from Sheikh Bin Kuki who says, was Sterling's hat-trick just a flash in the pan against Bournemouth? What do we think? I mean, he does look a good option if he's going to play behind Bonnie, doesn't he?
It's not, because it's him and Bonnie have both come out. They've been working on it in training. They've got a good combination going. Pellegrini against Man U, this is why I thought they were going to... there seems to be something pathological about Manchester managers at the moment to play people in wrong positions. But Sterling and Bonnie completely worked. He decided against that against Man U to go for a much more defensive option. Right. Same with Manchester United. You got Martial out on the wing. You got Mata out on the wing. You got Rooney up front. I mean, these are all players you just want to just throw them up in the air, jumble them up, and put them back in the right places again. I think against Norwich, if Sterling is playing behind Bonnie, then yes, he's not a flash in the pan. He's going to be.
Where does that put De Bruyne then? Because he did play. He has been playing quite defensively over the last couple of weeks, out of the wing. Is he absolutely essential? Well, he has been playing out wide.
You haven't got him, Granville. You're not worried about it?
No, I am. I'm going to get him or Bonnie this week. But it's just making the decision. I don't want to be. I mean, City's fixtures are so good now that that you can see that everyone is going to get in on the act, and he does take set pieces. It's just that is he that much more? Is he worth 2 million more than Bonnie?
Well, he is, because he's a keeper, isn't he? The difference there is Bonnie, he's going to be gone in 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
KDB, he's only going to keep rising in price. They've got 4 home games in the next 6, so you've got to think his stock will keep going up.
No,
I don't see him being rotated. I just think he's already too important for them.
Yeah. I agree.
If he's too important for them, then he'd be playing Champions League. I mean, they've got an important Champions League game coming up. Do you not think that he might be rested?
Yeah, but they've only got 2 more Champions League games to go. And then if you don't have him over Christmas when the Champions League game's out of the way, you'll be paying 0.3, 0.4 more.
I'm not bothered about money, but yeah. I mean, it's about points, isn't it? It's just that against Norwich, you can see everyone scoring. It's just who's going to score the most. I mean, you need to spend 10 million on De Bruyne.
De Bruyne, I mean, here's his stats. I mean, here's the basic ones that you need to know. Last 4 game weeks, 2 goals and 3 assists. Well, that's instant points, so that's pretty good. He's had 11 goal attempts and 6 on target. His thing is, though, inside the box. So he's not shooting inside the box. So he's a classic midfielder, like a Coutinho kind of thing. So he's only had 4 inside the box there. But, he's getting those goal attempts. He's getting those goals. He's getting those assists. Yeah,
we're not short of budget, are we? I mean, like, no one would go Sterling over De Bruyne unless we're really short of money, and they shouldn't be short of money at the minute.
No.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure about Sterling. He got a hat trick in 1 game. He has, to me, it doesn't look like someone who's going to score every game.
I think he will score against really bad teams at home,
which is their fixture list.
Fixture list. So whilst Aguero is out, if he's going to play that kind of the formation that we hope on the up front, and Sterling behind, if he's going to play that against weaker sides, then Sterling is going to carry on. But if he's going to go like he did against Manchester United and Sterling's out on the wing, that's not going to happen.
Key stat for De Bruyne for you, Granville. When he's on the pitch, 46% of goals have either been scored or assisted by him. Yeah. So in the City squad, only Aguero beats that, 53%. So
it does look really impressive. Yeah. What happens when Silva comes back then?
Well, he's outperforming Silva in that respect. Silva's 40.
No, but where does he play?
Well, it doesn't matter where he plays. I don't think. I think he is more effective in the number 10. You would have thought, but I just think he's capable of he's 2-footed, so he can play either wing. And we know he's king of assists, so he's at least. I mean, basically, he's Ozil, but with a bigger goal threat. That's the case.
Yeah.
And I just think, City may not score as many goals without Aguero, but as soon as Aguero's back, you're going to want De Bruyne as well. I think. It's one or the other, though. That's the problem. I don't think you can have them both and keep this 5-man midfield. So your tip for the one who's not a keeper out of that template is Mahrez. Do you think that we'll be getting rid of Mahrez in a few weeks?
Yeah. I mean, it's simply about do you want to have 2 Leicester players when there's so much choice out there?
That's the nail on the head on that one. You're going to go into a weak fixture with Vardy and Mahrez when you've got all of these other players. You've got Kane and Lukaku, and if Man U can get their act together, which I'm sure they will in the fixtures that are coming up, you've got so much abundance of choice, and they'd be tempting to move one of those on. Yeah.
So, Jonty, what are you going to do then? Because last week you said you were really happy to have Mata. This week you're calling him a bit rubbish.
It's not him. It's his manager. As I said, Mata playing out wide on the wing, getting substituted after 60 minutes or not playing, with Herrera as number 10, Wayne Rooney up front, and Martial on the other wing. That doesn't work. And
he has been playing out wide all season.
Yeah, but not with Rooney up front and then Herrera at number 10. It's just that combination. Where Mata excelled was probably with Depay playing, because Depay was not as good.
Yeah.
And so Mata was kind of compensating.
I just wonder whether Depay is going to come back at the weekend.
He could do.
They're going to put him in, and then it would mean either dropping Herrera back or dropping, because I can't see.
I mean, I think
getting dropped.
I think Mata's a wonderful player, but you look at his underlying stats, you look at his performances in the last he can't do anything really. He might not start, and that's a lot of money for someone who's not going to start. Yeah. I mean, I'm personally, I may be benching him this week, which is very odd, but
no, it's probably
that's what Van Gaal's done to me.
Okay, let's talk about Everton, because they've got this run of fixtures, and we've touched on Lukaku already. I mean, I may well be gambling on Lukaku, but aside from Lukaku, I mean, are we looking at Barkley? I mean, do we see? Yes. I mean, this 5-man midfield. Do you really think he's got a place in that?
Well, yes, I was going to mention Barkley in our this goals imminent table of those that have minimum of 10 goal attempts, but no more than 1 goal over the last 4 game weeks. So these are the ones that are, I'm really underlying. Incidentally, Kane was riding high in this last week, so this is the kind of way it works out. But see, Saka, who the West Ham striker, is at the top of that one. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th down there, so really, high up in that list with 13 goal attempts, 1 goal, is Barkley. So he's a very, very attacking. According to these stats.
How many of those in the box? Because he is someone who shoots from outside.
A lot are outside.
Well, this is it. He's had 30 shots this season, only 8 inside the box.
Yeah, so he's not inside the box, but he's playing against worse defences. That's the thing. He's been playing against good defences, and Everton have been doing okay, but he's coming up against bad defences. So these are the ones where he could be, he could have much more time to get much further into the box, or more accuracy with his shots outside the box. I don't know. I think. I mean, we're going back to asking about midfielders, and Sergeant Garcia, who I believe is the sergeant, as usually known as. He was saying, can we? Is there a differential midfielder we can go for? Barkley's the one I would say to anyone asking that question. I'd say Barkley, because he's got the fixtures, he's got the underlying stats. And if you don't want to get Lukaku in, get Barkley. That's what
I just think it's easier to get Lukaku in because the way our midfields are set at the moment. Because you, as well as the players that we talked about, the Mahrez, Mane, Ayew, there's Wijnaldum in there too. Yeah, it's just far too crowded. Whereas up front, we are, we're looking at Aguero for the third striker, and if you can afford to upgrade him, Lukaku looks the option. With Pele, Bonnie, Kane maybe in there at the moment. But I'm looking at, I love the goal involvement stats, and we're looking at, so every time Everton score, you've got to think that one of Barkley and Lukaku are going to be involved. At the moment, Barkley has scored and assisted 46% of Everton's goals when he's on the pitch, which sounds impressive, hugely impressive. Look at Lukaku, it's 53%. So over these fixtures, every time Everton scores at the moment, you kind of got a 50% chance Lukaku's going to get you a goal or assist.
We'll get both.
Yeah, and he takes penalties, Lukaku. So for all his erratic displays and his lack of consistency, that 53% involvement in an Everton goal, that to me, I think I've changed my mind having looked at that stat, whether it's Lukaku or Kane. I think I will go Lukaku, because I just think sooner or later he's going to have that run, isn't he? He's such a frustrating player because he looks like he's got the tools to be world class, and we've seen it before for West Brom where he has had that kind of run. I think this could be. We've got to gamble on this being it for Everton. If he's going to have a window this season where he does well, it's going to be between now and game week 19. And I just think that stat alone makes it worthwhile.
So home to Sunderland, what do we think? Is it the kind of game where Lukaku blanks?
Well, I don't know about Sunderland now.
What do we make of Sunderland? I mean, it's good. It's a good question actually.
Well, you don't trust Big Sam because he could turn up a clean sheet there, couldn't he?
I mean, they were obviously playing most of the game against 10 men.
They were lucky against Newcastle to get a clean sheet there.
They were, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm personally keeping a kind of a little watch on Lukaku, and I don't want Pele and Lukaku both in my team.
Why is that then, John?
Because as I said earlier, they, for differing reasons, they don't perform when you want them to. Pele is his accuracy, and Lukaku it's not. I mean, it is a myth, this whole kind of thing that he doesn't score against the bad teams, because he clearly does. But it's just he's not prolific. He's not an Aguero. He's not Van Persie used to be. He's not going to play
for Everton. That's what.
He plays for Everton as well, and they're not getting the chances. And it's hard to tell because they've had such bad fixtures. So I'd like to see him against Sunderland. If I was to get him in, it would be for Pele, but I wouldn't be comfortable having a front line of Vardy, Pele, and Lukaku. I'd want some
Well, going back to the goal involvement, Pella 50%. So every time Southampton score, goal or assist, 50% chance based on what he's done so far this season. So again, it's like you're right. I mean, you watch Pella and he's very frustrating, but it almost like he gets points without you noticing. He doesn't have massive explosions. A lot of people, he's second in the captain poll. I don't think he's a player who's going to get you double figures very often. He'll just get you dribs and drabs, an assist here, a goal every couple of 2 or 3 weeks. But he's effective. If Pella is effective, I'm going to probably have both by the end of Saturday. We'll talk about transfers at the end, but I agree they are frustrating. But I'm just going to bank on one of them scoring, and they're never going to go.
Pella has never been really prolific away from home, except for that Chelsea game. That came as a real surprise. Mainly not that Chelsea got beat, because Chelsea in a woeful form, but because it was Pella doing well there. Pella's, I think he's almost benchable away sometimes.
Yeah, but you look at they've got the 3 home games in the next 5 are Bournemouth, Stoke, and Villa.
Yeah, I want him for those.
And Sunderland away. So
that's what I said. It would be him or Lukaku. If I feel that if Pella's his form has completely dipped and he's not performing at home against these easy sides, then Lukaku will come in. But I wouldn't be comfortable. I'd want a Bonnie or Aguero or if Theo Walcott's out, Giroud. I'd want a big player for a big proper side. Who's going to get in the Champions League. Not that Everton are a proper side, but.
Okay, Hill's overhead. He's got lots of questions on the defenders. He starts off talking about Everton, so we're still on the subject of that. Now, Jagielka's injury, does that mean Everton defence no go now? Granville?
I haven't looked at Everton's defence all season, so I'm unsure. I'm unsure actually. Sunderland don't look like they've got much of a potent threat.
Stephen
Fletcher, yeah, but he's probably picked up an injury. He'll probably pick up an injury midweek and not play.
This evening, I think he changed channel tonight and pulled a hamstring. So yeah, you might be right.
Is that right?
No, you believe that, wouldn't you? I just think that it's the Everton defence without Jagielka. He's such a key. He is their key man. They're not a one-man defence by any means. John Stone's imperious, fantastic young player.
Yeah. But on his own,
Jagielka out there, yeah, exactly.
I mean, who did they play at the back? Who's the other centre back?
They're going to play Funes Mori, aren't they?
Oh right, yeah. I don't know much about him. He came on, didn't he? And he played against Liverpool. I saw him against Liverpool, but I don't know much about him.
Well, he's coming in at 5'5", so no bargain there. Galloway 4'5". He's only inside till Baines is back. You've got to think Baines will be back in 2 or 3 weeks. I know that he's very close to return. Coleman's the one we're all thinking about. 5'9". 5'9", though, Jonty, that's a lot to pay.
It's a lot, and he's not putting. I mean, I think it's a bit of nostalgia with Coleman. Everyone remembers that great season where he was 5 million and all those wonderful goals and assists. He's just not. He hasn't been doing that. I'm not saying he won't, but I like to see with these. I mean, all these Everton players, because Jagielka's out now. He's been a favourite of mine. Massively boring player, I love it. But now that he's gone. I'm actually keeping a bit of a watching brief on Everton's defence now. Are they actually going to be keeping clean sheets? So I want to see him against Sunderland, and then the following week against West Ham. They got West Ham away. Now that's potentially tough, but West Ham are conceding at home. So I want to see if they can perhaps counter West Ham's attack and score as well. And then I think I'll have a better picture about how Everton are, because it's like with Newcastle. Their early fixtures were so bad. It was actually hard to judge whether they were really that bad. And then they came out with that storming match against Norwich, and maybe you think that. And then I think they got a bit of bad luck against Sunderland. So I think it's wise to be a little bit patient, I think.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a quick comparison on Coleman last season to this. And to be honest, there's not a lot in it. He's actually receiving more of the ball this season than he did last season. Touches in the final third are down slightly. So, I mean, there's not a massive difference. It's just Everton just haven't had the fixtures and perhaps haven't been playing with consistency. Yeah. So he could surprise us, but 5'9" is still, it's just that little bit too much to pay, isn't it? It's that initial pricing. He was very expensive. So I think, for me, it's Lukaku only. I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to dismantle my midfield, which I've been building around the template that the Sergeant identifies. But I just think that's so strong. So for me, the Everton answer is solely Lukaku at the moment. Let's get back to defences then, John. Because the nibble overhead brings up a lot of questions here, doesn't it?
Because you can't look at, shall I get an Everton defender in isolation? Because you're thinking, well, who else could be better? And Heels Overhead asked the questions here, which reveal who is really which Saints defender to get. Well, Granville, you got a certain centre back in. It's did you well. He's got very good attacking stats.
Yeah.
And he did the business in Scotland with those goals as well. So he's a much better option.
Yeah, Van Dijk I think was a canny transfer, Granville. You've got to be pleased with him, haven't you?
Yeah, he's done all right. Actually, Zuma's done all right the last couple of weeks as well. You know, I'll tell you a funny story. At the weekend, I missed the games on Saturday, and I got in. And the first thing I saw was that Zuma had almost scored, and it showed the ball. It must have been like about a tenth of the ball wasn't over the line. Wasn't it? It was absolutely ridiculous. And I looked at score. Oh God, he's got a 2-pointer. And then I looked again at about half an hour later, and all of a sudden he'd got 6 points. I think it was 6 points. And I thought, what have they done? Have they given him that goal or something? Because he's almost scored.
He got the assist.
I first thought that they'd actually given him the goal. I don't know why I thought that, but it would have been quite funny. But yeah, they gave him an assist, which was, I mean, I did see it. It was an assist. I think they originally gave it to Villian, and so he was given the assist and 2 bonus points.
Well, Heels Overhead raises the Chelsea defence question. I mean, they have got decent fixtures. Again, lots of home matches coming out. Liverpool, Norwich, Bournemouth, Sunderland, Watford.
I think
all before game week 18.
I think on the form over fixtures chart, form completely scalps Chelsea here. They're in no-go zone for the moment.
Are you not coming around to Zuma though? Looking at his goal threat and looking at the fact that...
No, because once again, you can't look in isolation. This is good that Heels Overhead has raised all these questions about defenders. If I'm thinking of getting a defender in, I'm looking at Van Dijk or Zuma. Well, that's a no-brainer. I'm going to get Van Dijk in. He also asked about Man U, which defender to get in. Well, we've got, myself and Granville have got Darwin in our side, but I'm sure Granville will join me in thinking that Smalling is actually the defender of choice in fantasy terms, because he's got those bonus points and he's got a lot of potential for clean sheets.
Yeah, but 6.4. Oof.
Yeah. Well, they're saying it's if you're paying for regular clean sheets and bonus, you're looking at 7 or 8 points. That's quite good.
It's not a move that I'd want to make at the minute.
No,
it feels too sideways.
Arsenal as well. Now Arsenal have got just one less clean sheet than West Brom this season, and then Heels Overhead asked Monreal or Bellerin. Well, they're both great options. I mean, I personally got Bellerin in, and if I didn't have Bellerin or Monreal in, they would be right at the top of my shopping list, way over Zuma. He also asked about Morena as well at Liverpool. Now
that was my signing this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't do it, but they're definitely geared up. The way they're playing is geared up for clean sheets, and he's got that attacking threat.
Liverpool's fixtures are dreadful, but I just looked at him. He was bombing forward, and they do pick up. They've got Palace, Swansea, West Brom.
Definitely, yeah.
And he's playing left.
He did actually get forward a lot, but he was terrible in the final. His delivery. Really, really bad. But
he put in one decent cross. I just think he's a good option for 4-7. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got Hazard and presumably Hazard's going, and I know you've got Zuma. Yeah, I mean Zuma for his price, you got to keep. But I wouldn't urge anyone to get any Chelsea players in at the moment. It's just chaos. Mourinho's just got imploded into Mourinho world. And so it's just not a unit of players you can buy into at the moment.
Well, moving on to the question, which is the Sully29 talks about wildcarders, and we can link this from the defence question. So he's saying a lot of people playing game week 11 wildcards because of the transfer swing. Which players would you advise getting? Which players would you get now and be 100% nailed on if we had wildcards to play? Now, looking at defences, I think Van Dijk would be in my team. I'm trying to work him into my team now. I think Moreno at 4-7 looks too good a bet. Kolarov only until Clichy's back in the equation, which could be a couple of weeks' time. Bellerin, though, is the top defensive choice and will be until the end of the season. I guess if you had to wildcard, you might well take a risk on Coleman if you could have the money just for the differential for the fixtures, because non-wildcarders probably not going to work Coleman in. What about you, Jonty? What defence would you get in? Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be Bellerin, definitely. I mean, we did a bit of research recently on the site about clean sheets. They're actually much easier to predict this season. Their last season, around this time of year, it was only really Southampton that were tearing up with clean sheets. This year, Arsenal, Man U, West Brom, and Man City, when company plays, are all getting those clean sheets. So I'd be looking to focus on those four. I'd be looking to get a Man U option in. I think they're good for clean sheets.
I don't know. The thing is with Man U is they've only got 2 at home in the next 6. So I know they're good defensively, but away from home,
they're very good defensively. I mean, they're these are the teams where you've got this concentration of clean sheets, plus in players like Bellerin, Kolarov.
They do look good at the back, United.
They really do.
I know City didn't attack that much at the weekend, but they always looked solid. But the thing is, the difference is with United is that you've actually got quite a lot of bargains here. Because you've got now that you've got Rojo who's going to be playing every week.
Right.
I mean, we don't know. I'm not just sure that you want to be spending 6-4 on Smalling.
Yeah, this is it.
I think you can. I think you can take.
Well, you've got De Gea at 5-5. Why would you not do that?
Yeah.
And De Gea as the goalie. I mean, Myhill's fixtures. I mean, this is almost perhaps a great time to get De Gea in. You know he's going to play. We know that Man U are good for clean sheets. Myhill's fixtures are stiffening up. So if you've got Myhill and another, because Myhill's still cheap. So if you've got Myhill and so, like in my case, I've got Ruddy, who's rubbish at the moment, or you've got like a non-playing goalkeeper, get rid of that one. Have Myhill as your backup. Get De Gea in. Flash a bit of that.
De Gea straight to the top of our watch list because I think on the basis that you've got to pay a premium for a United defender that's secure, and De Gea even away from home will get save points. So. For me, he's the United option at the back.
Yeah.
Midfield for wildcarders. I mean, it's pretty simple, isn't it? The template's there. KDB.
It's more or less a template.
Well, I would think that the trouble is there's a lot of money around at the moment. If Aguero was fit, or say if you're looking at trying to get Aguero in, I would possibly take a risk and not get Sanchez and have Özil instead, because I think you're still going to mop up with some points there. As I said, it's not a concern at the moment because Aguero's not around. But when Aguero's around, Aguero, Sanchez, and De Bruyne, I don't think is doable with a good rest of the squad. And I think Özil for Sanchez, that frees up a lot of cash. So that's what I would consider. Just as a plan, perhaps thinking that in the long term, if you're wild card, you think, I'm going to get Sanchez, but I think Özil might be the man to come in for him.
I think it's pretty simple with that. You have KDB and then you transfer him out when Aguero, if you want Aguero back. But I think Özil for the differential for a wild card is a good option. Yeah. But
I mean, De Bruyne is such an assist machine, like Özil is at Arsenal. So if Aguero is coming back and we think Aguero is going to be firing all guns cylinders, why transfer out the guy that's going to get all the assists for all of those goals? It just doesn't make sense to me.
You've also got Silva who'll be back in a couple of weeks, so I think it's still open. Can we move on to Mark?
Sorry, I missed that completely, Granville. So
Can we move on to what you're going to be doing this week?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got some big news. I'm thinking of spending 8 points.
8.
Well, I'm gonna spend 4 for sure. So Hazard's going and Mane's coming in.
Yeah.
Mane's 7-9 for me. I mean, looking at his next 3 fixtures: Bournemouth, Sunderland, Stoke. I am worried about him over the international break, so he could be, could be doubtful.
You've got Pella as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but why would you not have Pella and Mane at home to Bournemouth?
No, I understand that. But for the next 3 weeks, you're going to be. Are you ever going to split them though? You're always going to be playing them all.
I think eventually Pella will go, but I just think that Mane at 7-9 is one I want.
See, this is exactly what I was thinking. I know you questioned why I've sold Pella before Bournemouth because I just needed to shift him out and for Mane. I just don't want both players when there's so many other options.
But my argument there is you do want both players when it's Bournemouth, Stoke, and Villa the next 3 home games. But
there's Lukaku at home to Southampton, and there's Kane at home to Villa.
Yeah. Okay. So my other transfer is going to be Gomez out for Lukaku. So I will have Lukaku, Vardy, and Pella, who I said a few weeks ago I think are the 3 best strikers to have before Kane got his hat trick. I do. I mean, I could go Kane over Lukaku. I'm thinking about it, but looking at that Lukaku stat, I think you're going to want some Everton coverage between now and the end of the year because of that run of games. So he's going to frustrate me. Him and Pella's probably a recipe for disaster, but I probably am going to do it. And then I'm thinking, I am really considering getting Van Dijk as well, because I just think at the moment, because of the fixture screen, because of the fact that Southampton have got those 3 home games, and I do see clean sheets against Bournemouth, Stoke and Villa being a strong possibility, I think it could be worth spending 8 points to get Van Dijk in and just sorting my team out in one fell swoop.
Have you just totally given up on trying to catch me now? Is that it?
No, not at all. I look at it and think, I've got KDB and you haven't, and I've got Pella and you haven't. So I think...
No, you won't have KDB and I haven't. Not after this week.
Okay, right. So you're making that transfer.
Or Bonnie. I'll be covering it in one way or another.
Yeah, but then you can't get Lukaku this week. So I've got to hope that the only way I can stay ahead of you is if I make transfers to set my team up. And I think, I do think I can catch you. I do think there's a possibility because I do think your side, you've got some problems that you've got to address. So either you've got to spend 4 points this week, or you're going to be 2 or 3 players behind me. I will be spending
4 points this week. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And it'll be a combination of, it'll be a midfielder and an attacker, and it'll probably be De Bruyne and Lukaku, or Bonnie and Mane. It'll be a combination like that, or Kane, or even Lukaku. I haven't fully decided yet, but I'm just waiting for the. What Jonty was saying before is that I don't wish an injury in any player, but it would make it a hell of a lot easier if someone wasn't available this weekend.
Yeah. This is it. So, Jonty, you got a problem, haven't you? You're a bench. What's your transfer first of all?
Well, my transfer on Sunday night was Houlihan upgrade to De Bruyne. So out goes my Citroen 2CV.
That's quite an upgrade. Yeah.
And then comes a Rolls Royce, who I'll probably captain, but I might captain Bonnie. So it's between those two. Right. I definitely want to be captaining a Man City player. So my midfield is now De Bruyne, Payet, Sanchez, Mahrez and Mata, and my front line is Pella, Bonnie and Vardy.
Yeah.
So yes, I have a bench bomb. It's between Mahrez and Mata this week for me. I have to decide whether Van Gaal is going to get the best out of Mata against Palace, which I've seen no evidence that he will. I also have to think, do I want Mahrez and Vardy against the Tony Pulis defence? At the moment, I prefer Mahrez to Mata, but that may change. And then at the back, I'm playing Evans, which might make me decide to go for Mata just because I don't like attackers against defenders. And I'm going to play Bellerin and Darmian. So I've got nothing in the bank left. So I've got a great front 8, so I don't have to worry about injuries too much at the moment. I don't have to take any hits. And I'll see what happens in game week 12. I'd like to save a transfer because then we've got an international break, so I can come back for that with 2, which would be nice. And then Aguero could even be back then, so that gives me a lot of room for manoeuvre. So planning ahead a bit there.
Right. Yeah.
I think that most of us are going to have that benching problem now for a few weeks because I think the 5-man midfield. And Andy's clever. He's got a Galu, so I suppose he's going to bench him week in, week out. And I think Mahrez is going to be on a lot of people's benches at the weekend.
Well, there's someone like last season I had Punchin, and this season I've had Houlihan. If you go for that quality 5th midfielder or a 5-man midfield, you just have to accept you are going to bench some points. You're just going to, and you just have to hope for the best.
So you're captain De Bruyne. I'm going to go Mane. I think I might gamble. Just because of the ownership, and I just need to maybe take a risk. I'm toying with it. Granville, your captain?
One of the new players are getting De Bruyne or Lukaku or Bonnie. I think
you're going to play safe, aren't you?
Well, what safe as in what? Be one.
Yeah, you'll go De Bruyne, I think. That's what I'm thinking. Do I gamble the captaincy? It's. I've got nothing for my captains all season, so why change the habit of a lifetime? Thanks very much for joining us this week. Sorry about the technical problems that I was trying to watch on YouTube. It's been a pleasure as always. We'll see if I can close it. I may well spend those 8 points, but I'm not giving up the ghost yet, Granville. What was it, 50 odd points behind? I can do that. No problem at all. It's a good night for me.
Good night.
And good night for me.
Good night all.